Welcome to the 1630s. The Netherlands is filthy rich, and everyone is looking for the next big flex. Enter the tulip. It wasn't just a flower, it was a status symbol. If you didn't have a tulip, were you even living? But the real MVPs were the broken tulips. They had these crazy stripes caused by a virus. People thought it was magic. Botanists became the new rock stars. They spent years trying to breed the perfect Semper Augustus. Rich folks started building secret gardens. It was like an underground club, but for plants. Nobody knew it was a virus back then. They just thought the flowers were evolving into their final form. Supply was low. Demand was high. You see where this is going? Prices started to creep up. In the taverns, people weren't talking about politics. They were talking about bulbs. Hey, did you hear what Peter paid for that red one? Soon it wasn't just the rich. Everyone wanted a piece of the action. Even chimney sweeps were checking the tulip charts. This is the Semper Augustus, the holy grail of tulips. Only a few existed, and they were worth a literal fortune. Trading didn't even happen with the flowers anymore. It was all about the bulbs, ugly brown, dirt-covered gold. It was the perfect setup. Everyone was happy, everyone was getting rich, and nothing could possibly go wrong, right? By 1636, people stopped caring about the garden. They cared about the gains. The flower became a financial asset like Bitcoin, but with more dirt. Trading moved into colleges, which is a fancy word for the back rooms of bars. Beer and bankruptcy, a classic combo. They called it wind handle, trading in the wind. Why? Because they were buying and selling bulbs that hadn't even grown yet. Prices didn't just go up, they went vertical. A single bulb could now buy you a literal mansion in Amsterdam. Bulbs had ranks now. If you held a viceroy, you were basically a god in the town square. Don't have cash? No problem. One guy literally traded 12 fat sheep, 4 oxen, and 2 tons of butter for a single bulb. That's a lot of butter. People were signing contracts for bulbs they'd never see, using money they didn't have. Sound familiar? It's the birth of the futures market. Even the middle class jumped in. Cobblers, weavers, chimney sweeps, everyone thought they were one bulb away from retirement. The Semper Augustus hit 5,500 guilders. For context, the average person earned 150 guilders a year. Legend says a sailor once mistook a rare bulb for an onion and ate it with his herring. That was the world's most expensive breakfast. By January 1637, the prices were so high they didn't even make sense. People were selling houses they lived in to buy bulbs they hadn't seen. But here's the thing about bubbles. They need more people to keep buying. And eventually, you run out of people. February 1637. The vibes in Harlem were off. A bunch of traders sat down for an auction, but for the first time ever, nobody shouted mine. One guy offered a lower price, then a lower one. Still nothing. It was like trying to sell a used napkin for the price of a Ferrari. Suddenly, everyone realized they weren't holding wealth. They were holding onions. Very expensive, very useless onions. Word traveled fast. And by fast, I mean everyone running to the nearest tavern to scream fast. Those paper contracts, the ones worth a literal fortune, they were now great for one thing: starting fires. Panicked buyers ran to the courts. The judges basically said, you bought a flower for the price of a ship? That sounds like a you problem. It was a race to the bottom. I'll sell for 1,000. I'll sell for 500. I'll sell for a sandwich. The price didn't just drop. It jumped off a cliff without a parachute. The neighbors who were clinking beer mugs yesterday were now pointing fingers. You told me it was a sure thing, Peter. Imagine checking your portfolio and realizing your retirement fund is just a box of moldy vegetables. The market didn't just close, it evaporated. The dream of infinite money was replaced by the reality of infinite debt. The taverns went quiet, the trading stopped. Everyone just kind of looked at each other and asked, what did we just do? The party was over. The Dutch didn't go extinct, but everyone woke up with a massive financial hangover. The get-rich-quick vibe was officially dead. Satirists had a field day. They started printing pamphlets mocking the tulip-mad traders. Basically, the 1637 version of mean tweets. People had to go back to actually making things, like cheese, ships, and art. Boring stuff that actually has value. The government eventually stepped in and said, look, just pay 3.5% of what you owed, and let's never speak of this again. A classic, let's just be friends breakup. Despite the drama, the Dutch economy didn't actually collapse. It turns out when only a few thousand people are gambling on flowers, the whole country stays afloat. The tulip itself didn't go away. It just went back to being a flower. A pretty one, sure, but not buy a mansion pretty. This was the world's first major economic bubble. Did we learn our lesson? Absolutely not. We just moved on to the next shiny thing. The ghost of tulip mania still haunts every stock market app. Whenever something goes to the moon, the ghost of 1637 whispers, "I've seen this one before." Today, the Netherlands is the flower capital of the world. They turned a financial disaster into a national brand. Talk about a glow up. And those broken striped tulips? We eventually figured out it was just a virus. We cured it, and now we can make them striped whenever we want. No magic required.